All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go and I'm going to jump into another example, and we're going to start on page 387. So what I showed you earlier was how to take a text file out of the bin debug and source it into your assignment. So what you're going to do in this assignment this week, though, is you are going to actually create that file that it's going to use to do everything in this assignment, all right? So what you're going to do in theory is you're going to add a person to file, you're going to delete a person from a file, you're going to go basically back and forth. And the biggest hang up with this assignment for students is planning. And I know I just said that, but I'm going to repeat it again so it's on the video, if the video even works. So plan. I want you guys to get the load to work first. Get the file to create first. You know, get that to work and then move on. Don't go and plan and program your whole thing and then start testing, because you will drive yourself absolutely batty. And I mean batty, all right? And then you're going to drive me batty. No, you won't, but because I'll be at home and you'll be there wanting to throw your computer across the screen. All right? So what we're going to do is assignment 5 is a great example of how to create a text file is page 387. But what we're going to do is we are actually going to do example 3 on page 389. All right? And so what we're going to do is first we're going to get the form load, okay? So, and I'm going to step through it kind of quick, but basically you got to get the load first, okay? So in your assignment, you're going to have a load. And in that load, let me pull up. I think I have this written out. Hold on a second. I think I wrote it out for yesterday. So maybe. Yeah. Okay. So these are the steps for your assignment 5. This is kind of how you want it to work, okay? So in the load, you're going to check if the file exists. If it's not, you create it, and then you're going to display both files. That's all you're doing in the load, okay? So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go like this. Bam. Bam. Maybe. Not bam. No? Whatever. All right. The trick is, in this assignment, in my example, I'm using one file. In your example, in your assignment, you're doing 2 files, okay? So you are checking if both of them exist, and then you're displaying both of them. Please, please, please do that. Do not forget that, okay? You're doing the missionary available and the missionary in field files, okay? Both of those, you need to check if they exist, and then you need to display them, whether they exist or not, because you're going to create them if they don't, okay? So the way you check to see if it exists is it's just the if io.file.exists, all right? And my file is names.txt, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if it doesn't exist. Because what I want to do is I only want to create it if it doesn't exist. Okay? So all that's saying is check and go see if names.exist. Names.exist. Names.txt doesn't exist. But guys, look. Since I already have this created up here, dim name of string, I can refer to it as name file. It's going to make a lot more sense to me if I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. If this file, names.txt, doesn't exist, I need to create it. Okay. And so to create it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the example on page 387. All right. And so all you do is you do dem SW. SW can be whatever you want. All right, but this is called StreamWriter. That's what the example is, as io.streamwriter equal to io.file.create text. Okay, now look, this has to be exactly like my name's dot. Oh, you guys just saw my mom's Netflix. Whoops. Don't use it, okay? That would be bad. All right. Okay, so names.text. Okay, so I have to save this exactly like the same my file name. That would be bad if I created the file different because it would create a whole new file. Don't do that, all right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? The Netflix thing kind of threw me off. So names.text has to match all the file names that I'm going to be checking throughout the whole program, okay? All right, so I've created my text file, but that isn't doing me any good. I actually got to write something in there, right? Let's do John. I'm just going up the list, guys, so don't think I'm picking students. All right, and then you have to close it. Do not forget to close it. If you get the error that it's being used, basically the file's being used and it can't, it's busy, that means that you forgot to close it. Most of the time it's because that you did a write line and you didn't close it, okay? So you're going to do this twice. You're going to do it for the available and you're going to do it for the in-fields missionaries, okay? You're going to have two different if statements. And then I check to see if it exists, and now I'm going to display the file. Because either way, I want to display the file. Do you guys understand that? Because if it doesn't exist, I want to create it, and then I want to display it. If it does exist, then I'm going to skip to creating it, and I'm going to display it anyways, right? And I just showed you how to display the file with our last example. And this is the only difference. I'm gonna bring it in right here. Or I can just do okay. Oh. Okay. It's hard to do some of this on the fly, guys. Talk about pressure. And by the way, just so you know, if you don't make mistakes, you're not programming. All right. Just so you know, if you get a lot of mistakes, that means you're actually programming. Okay. Because even professionals make mistakes. All right. Okay, so I'm going to display this. Now, I'm not going to keep programming. I'm not going to assume that I'm right, okay? Because I make mistakes all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to load this in. Now, I actually have a names file. Okay, so a lot of your classmates right now are saying, man, I must be programming a lot. Everybody agrees. I'm telling you, you learn more by making errors than you do by anything else. All right. Isn't that how it is in life? Don't your kids or didn't you learn by, your mom says don't touch the hot stove and you touch hot stove anyways, right? You have to learn for yourself. All right, let's see. I don't know. All right. Projects. Sample 7. . If you look at my sample 7 in my bin debug folder, it already had a names file. Nicole, Paul, and Jessica. All right. Notice that I sorted it. Remember, because I did it in order by that. Okay. So that's my name file. Now, I know it works. Okay. But what if I just want to delete this file? Let's see. I should be able to drag this over. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Like my computer heard me say yes. Okay. So now in my file, I should end up with a names file called names, obviously, John, and then inside it, John, Colby, Indiana. If it works. All right. Do you see how that works? And then you can move on. Once you get it to load and you get it to do what you want, then you move on. Okay? So do you guys all see what I did right there? You guys are going to do it twice. Remember that. Don't forget that. Okay? So now, in your assignment, you are moving, all you're doing with your buttons is you're adding to a file and you're deleting from a file and you're refreshing list boxes. Yes, you're going to have 2 display commands. Yep. 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 Everything that you do, anything that you do, you must update both list boxes, except for when you actually click the add button. Okay? All right. So now, if you look at, I don't know. All right. So let me go ahead and stop the video. I gotta get